If you care about your skin, your hair, your joints, you're going to want to hear this. Because what I'm about to show you isn't a supplement, it's not a powder, and it's definitely not something most people ever think to eat. What if I told you the most powerful collagen source on the planet doesn't come in a tub, doesn't dissolve in your morning coffee, and doesn't have anti-aging plastered anywhere on the label? Most people walk right past it at the grocery store every single week without realizing what they're ignoring. Right now, millions of people are spending real money on collagen supplements, hoping they'll get better skin, stronger joints, healthier hair. And look, I get it, the marketing is convincing. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of those products are stripped down fragments of something that used to come naturally from food. And the real cost isn't just the money, it's the results you're not getting. Here's what surprised me when I started digging into the research. The most bioavailable body-recognized collagen isn't rare. It's not exotic, it's not expensive. It comes from parts of the animal that modern diets quietly taught us to throw away. There's one in particular, chewy, unglamorous, almost never talked about, that delivers collagen in its most concentrated, usable form. You're not supplementing it, you're eating straight collagen. I'll show it to you in a minute. But first, you need to understand why your body responds to real collagen foods differently than anything that comes out of a bottle. Long before collagen became a trend, people were getting it daily. No powders, no pills, no subscriptions. They weren't supplementing, they were just eating intelligently. And their skin, their joints, their hair reflected it. Today, I'm going to walk you through 3 of the most underrated collagen foods you can actually buy. Beef tendon, chicken feet, and real bone broth made the traditional way. I'll show you where to find them, how to prepare them step by step, and how to turn them into foods that actually support your body from the inside out. Because once you understand this, buying collagen supplements starts to feel like paying for a shadow of the real thing. Number 1. Beef tendon, the pure collagen source. Let's start with the one that makes most people hesitate. Beef tendon. At first glance, it doesn't look like food. It looks tough, pale, kind of rubbery. A lot of people assume it's fat or waste. That misunderstanding is exactly why it remains one of the most slept-on collagen sources out there. Here's what it actually is. Beef tendon isn't muscle meat, it's connective tissue, the structure that holds muscle to bone. And nutritionally, that distinction matters a lot. Unlike steak or ground beef, tendon is composed of roughly 95% protein. And the majority of that protein is type 1 collagen, the same collagen that forms the structural framework of your skin, hair, nails, tendons, ligaments, and even parts of your gut lining. So you're not just eating protein, you're eating the raw materials your body uses to rebuild itself. It doesn't stop there. Beef tendon naturally contains glycine and proline, 2 amino acids that are critical for collagen synthesis and tissue repair. A 2018 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that glycine supplementation improves skin elasticity and hydration in women over 40. But here's the thing. You don't need to supplement glycine when you're eating tendon. It's already there, in the exact form your body recognizes. Beef tendon also provides glucosamine, a compound so commonly associated with joint supplements that people forget it originally came from food. When you eat tendon, you're getting all of these compounds together in their natural ratios, the way evolution designed it. The macros are honestly kind of unbelievable. A 3-ounce serving contains about 131 calories, 32 grams of protein, just 1 gram of fat, and 0 carbohydrates. That makes it incredibly efficient whether you're keto, carnivore, low carb, or just trying to get more protein without extra calories. Now let's talk preparation, because this is where most people get intimidated and give up. Raw beef tendon is extremely tough, so tough a knife won't make a dent. But with the right process, it transforms into something completely different. Soft, bouncy, gelatinous, and genuinely satisfying to eat. First step is simple. Rinse the tendons thoroughly under cold running water. This removes surface residue and sets you up for a cleaner result. Next comes the step you should never skip, the initial blanch. Place the tendons in a pot, cover them with cold water, bring it to a boil. Let them simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes. You'll see foam and cloudy stuff rising to the surface. That's exactly what you want to get rid of. Once that time is up, drain the pot completely and throw that water away. This dramatically improves the flavor, the smell, everything. Now the real transformation begins. Return the tendons to your pot and cover them with fresh water. From here, you've got 3 options depending on what's in your kitchen. If you're using a pressure cooker or instant pot, cook on high pressure for 90 minutes. If you prefer a slow cooker, let them go on low for 8 to 10 hours. And if you like the traditional stovetop method, bring it to a boil, then reduce to the gentlest simmer for 4 to 6 hours. All 3 methods work. The goal is the same: fully tender, collagen-rich tendon. Once they're cooked, remove the tendons and let them cool. Then here's a step that makes everything easier. Chill them overnight in the refrigerator, ideally in some of their cooking liquid. As they cool, the gelatin sets, giving the tendon a firm, elastic texture that's incredibly easy to slice. The next day you can cut them cleanly into pieces. No slipping, no shredding. At this point they're ready for soups, stews, stir-fries, or even crisped up in an air fryer if you want something different. One more thing, never throw away that cooking liquid. Once it cools, it usually turns into a thick, jiggly gel. That's concentrated collagen-rich broth, liquid gold. Use it as a soup base or freeze it for later. You can find beef tendon at most butcher shops if you ask, and almost always at Asian grocery stores. It's affordable, deeply nourishing, and one of the most direct ways to give your body exactly what it needs for stronger joints, better skin, and a healthier gut. Number 2, chicken feet, the one nobody wants to talk about. If beef tendon is the collagen source people avoid because it looks unfamiliar, chicken feet are the one people avoid because they look a little too familiar. To a lot of Western eyes, they don't even register as food. There's something to discard, ignore, or politely decline at the dinner table, and that's a massive nutritional mistake. Chicken feet are made almost entirely of skin, cartilage, tendons, and connective tissue, which is exactly where collagen lives. They're particularly rich in type 2 collagen, the form most closely associated with cartilage health and joint cushioning. A 2016 study in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found that chicken feet contain some of the highest concentrations of type 2 collagen of any commonly available food. If your knees, hips, or shoulders have started reminding you of their existence more than you'd like, this is the kind of collagen your body understands immediately. Beyond collagen, chicken feet naturally contain chondroitin, a compound so prized for joint health that it's often paired with glucosamine in expensive supplements. They also provide calcium and phosphorus for bone strength in a gentle, food-based form, rather than an aggressive synthetic one. And here's the part that might surprise you. In most markets, chicken feet are one of the cheapest animal foods you can buy. We're talking about legitimate joint-supporting nutrition for almost nothing. The key to actually enjoying chicken feet is preparation. Done right, they don't taste strange, they don't smell weird, and they don't feel intimidating. They become tender, silky, and genuinely satisfying. Start with cleaning. Rinse them thoroughly under cold water. Using kitchen shears, snip off the tips of the claws at the last joint and discard them. This step alone makes them feel way more approachable. Next comes what I call the deodorizing step, and it's essential. Place the cleaned feet in a pot, cover with water, add a few slices of fresh ginger or a splash of vinegar. Bring it to a boil and let it cook for 5 to 7 minutes. This removes any residual odor and impurities. Drain the pot, rinse the feet again, and you're left with a clean, neutral base ready to absorb whatever flavor you want. Now cook them until tender. In a pressure cooker, cover with fresh water or broth and cook on high pressure for 25 to 30 minutes. On the stovetop, place them in a covered pot with enough liquid to submerge them and simmer gently for 1.5 to 2 hours. You'll know they're ready when the skin and connective tissue are soft and easily pull away from the small bones. From here, chicken feet become incredibly versatile. You can braise them in a flavorful liquid. Coconut aminos, soy sauce, garlic, and chili for a Vietnamese-style preparation, or with mushrooms and aromatics for something richer. They absorb flavor beautifully while contributing their own silky texture. But one of the smartest ways to use chicken feet is almost invisible. Add a few cleaned feet to your pho, ramen, or any soup stock. As they cook, they release collagen into the broth, transforming it into something glossy, rich, and deeply nourishing. You might not even notice the feet themselves, but you'll absolutely notice how the broth feels. how satisfying it is, how it coats your mouth differently than regular stock. Chicken feet remind us of something important. Nutrition doesn't have to be fancy to be powerful. Sometimes the most beneficial foods are the ones we were taught to ignore. Number 3, bone broth, the one that ties everything together. If beef tendon is concentrated collagen and chicken feet are joint-focused collagen, then bone broth is the great unifier. The food that quietly brings everything together. Long before collagen powders existed, before protein shakes had influencer deals, before supplements had brand names, there was always a pot simmering somewhere. That pot held bones, joints, scraps of connective tissue, and time. Bone broth wasn't trendy. It was foundational, and there was a good reason for that. True bone broth is a full-spectrum extract. When you simmer bones slowly, you're not just pulling out collagen. You're drawing minerals from the bone matrix, gelatin from connective tissue, and amino acids that support digestion, sleep, and cellular repair. This is why real bone broth feels different from boxed stock. One actually nourishes, the other just adds flavor. During a long, gentle simmer, collagen breaks down into gelatin and smaller peptides that your body can absorb easily. A 2017 study in the Journal of Renal Nutrition found that bone broth made with a vinegar extraction method contained meaningful amounts of calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus. These minerals don't arrive isolated like they do in supplements. They come packaged with gelatin and amino acids that help your body actually use them. Bone broth is also rich in glycine. Research published in Frontiers in Psychiatry found that glycine supplementation improved sleep quality and reduced daytime fatigue. Again, you don't need to buy glycine separately. It's already in the broth. Now let's talk about making it correctly, because this is where most people go wrong and end up with weak, watery stock instead of the real thing. First step is choosing the right bones. For the best results, you want to mix. Marrow bones provide rich flavor and minerals. Knuckle and joint bones contribute collagen and gelatin. And if you have chicken feet from earlier, add them in. They contribute extraordinary gel power. This combination creates depth, nutrition, and that unmistakable body in the final broth. Before you start the long simmer, always blanch your bones. Place them in a pot, cover with water, bring to a boil for about 10 minutes. Drain and discard that water. This removes impurities and ensures a clean, pleasant-tasting broth. Transfer the blanched bones to a large stock pot or slow cooker. Add cold water to cover them by about 2 inches. Then add 1 to 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. This isn't for flavor. It helps draw minerals out of the bones. If you want, you can add onion, carrot, and celery for aroma, but keep it simple. Bone broth doesn't need much. Now comes the most important part: time and temperature. Bring the pot to a gentle simmer, then reduce the heat as low as possible. You're not boiling, you're barely coaxing. The surface should show only the smallest movement. For chicken-based broth, let it simmer for 12 to 24 hours. For beef or lamb, aim for 24 to 48 hours. During the first few hours, skim off any foam that rises. After that, you can mostly leave it alone. When cooking is done, strain out the solids and let the broth cool. As it chills, something should happen that tells you everything. A properly made bone broth will set into a firm, wobbly jelly in the refrigerator. That jiggle is your confirmation that you've extracted real gelatin and collagen. If it doesn't jiggle, you either didn't use enough joints and connective tissue, or you didn't simmer long enough. Store your broth in the refrigerator for up to 5 days, or freeze it in portions. Ice cube trays work perfectly. Bone broth is incredibly versatile. Sip it warm with sea salt in the morning. Use it as cooking liquid for rice or grains. Make it the base for soups, stews, sauces, and gravies. Every time you use it, you're quietly upgrading the nutrition of your meal without thinking about it. This isn't a supplement. This is a foundation. So here's my question for you. Which of these 3 are you most interested in trying first? Drop it in the comments. I genuinely want to know. If this changed the way you think about collagen, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want more content like this. And share it with someone who's still spending money every month on powders when the real thing has been sitting at the grocery store the whole time. I'll see you in the next one.